More than 1 in 5 students in Texas public schools are classified as emergent bilinguals. Emergent bilinguals are students who speak a language other than English at home and receive specialized instruction designed to accelerate their development of proficiency in English. One of the biggest challenges that schools across the country face when working with these students is a lack of guidance in understanding which students have an underlying reading difficulty. As an example of this, in a large public school district I used to work with, less than 1% of emergent bilingual students in first grade received special education services. By 6th grade, that number grew to over 20%. Research shows that this pattern of misidentifying which bilingual students need special education early in school is not isolated to that single school district. It's prevalent throughout the country. Now, this problem comes from good intentions. Educators are hesitant to place what can be viewed as a stigmatizing label on a young bilingual child who may simply be having difficulty early in school due to a lack of familiarity with the English language. However, the consequences of continuing this misidentification are dire. Early in school, if we do not accurately identify which students need additional support, then many bilingual students will not receive the instruction that they need to become skilled readers. Then, by late elementary school, because we haven't provided appropriate instruction, there may be bilingual students who do not have an underlying learning disability, but look like they do. Placing students without an underlying disability in special education takes valuable resources away from children who need them most. As an example of this, I've seen bilingual students inappropriately get flagged as having characteristics of autism, sometimes because they're afraid to speak up in class after they've been punished or discouraged from using their home language. My colleagues and I have done research to address this problem. Screening reading skills early in school is very challenging. Both at home and in preschool settings, the nature of literacy experiences that children have varies greatly. Kindergarten teachers and other educators are tasked with determining whether poor performance on a reading assessment early in school is due to an underlying learning difficulty or perhaps simply a lack of opportunity. Add another language spoken at home, and the challenge grows greatly because few educators are properly trained in how multilingualism influences reading development. Now, although many children are not exposed to reading instruction prior to school, all children are exposed to language before school. We have decades of research that show us that oral language skills are critical for the development of reading. For example, children's vocabulary knowledge, background knowledge, and listening comprehension skills all help children understand what they are reading. Therefore, evaluating bilingual children's early oral language skills in kindergarten may be one key to beginning to identify which students are at risk for an underlying difficulty learning to read. We also cannot ignore the environments in which children are becoming bilingual and biliterate. Some bilingual children come to school relatively proficient in their home language, but with little exposure to English. Other children are exposed consistently to their home language and English from birth. If we ignore the language environment and its influence on reading development in the assessment process, we will not accurately identify which students need additional support. Through our research, we are evaluating children's proficiency in Spanish and English simultaneously alongside the language environments they are exposed to at home, at school, and in their communities. We are also taking advantage of novel assessment paradigms that allow us to evaluate not only what children know, but also their learning potential. We can assess a child's learning potential by first providing a brief assessment of their specific reading skill. Then we can provide a small amount of instruction designed to improve that skill, and finally, retest the child to see if they have benefited from the instruction and begun to acquire that specific skill. In the next few years, we expect to create specific assessment protocols that schools can use to distinguish bilingual children with and without reading disabilities. This will allow schools and teachers to target their instruction towards students who need it the most, promote reading development for all students, and prevent young bilingual students from falling behind their peers as they progress through school. Failure to identify the instructional supports that bilingual children need to become skilled readers deprives them of their right to a free and appropriate public education. It's critical that we continue to do research and advance our understanding of how to best support all bilingual students, promoting their success in the school years and beyond. Thank you.